What's up, everyone? Um, there's there's so many times recently now whenever I'm trying to talk about something, I'm going, but I think I already talked about that. I think I already talked about that. Pretty sure I already talked about that. Didn't I talk about that? And I know there's something that I haven't talked about, and for those of you that know, um, I had been struggling with my contacts for a while. Um, I was getting calcium deposits and shit like that on my contacts, and they had said we're going to use this thing called Clear Care. It's a container about this big, and you fill it up about that much with a hydrogen peroxide based solution. There's a they call it a platinum disc. I don't know if it is because I'm going, is that what platinum looks like? But whatever. And there's these cages that your contacts go into. You put it into the mix, you submerge it, and you're supposed to leave it for a minimum of 6 hours. And then the hydrogen peroxide solution turns into water at that point through the chemical reaction with the platinum disc. At least that's what I remember hearing. Um, why you would use platinum, I don't know, but it's whatever. I more than likely I misheard it. But anyway, it has this chemical reaction that just cleans the contacts as you go. Well, I had gotten this year supply back in late August. I was supposed to get it in June. And they were like, yeah, it should be there in about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. So I waited for 6 weeks and I called them and said, you said it was going to be about 3 weeks, and I've got nothing yet. And they're like, oh, we'll see what's going on. And the way that she said, oh, is almost like, oh shit, I forgot to hit order now or whatever. So 3 weeks from the day the contacts show up, and they were bigger than normal. Literally cover my entire iris rather than just like fit just on it. It covers it. And that was fine. And then next thing I know, um, December rolls around, and one of those contacts had gotten caught in the cage somewhere and had a tear in it. And I was like, well, shit. Okay, well, I got 3 other pair. Let's get another pair. Um, they had asked me whenever I'd called them at one point, and I'll get to that in a second. But they had asked me, did I still have the left contacts? And I went, well, no. If they're supposed to be worn for a certain amount of time, having offset contacts that I'm wearing didn't make sense. So I literally just said, screw it, and just did a whole new pair. Remember, this is December. I want to say about the first week of December. 2 weeks in to the new contacts in December, another tear. What the hell? I throw that pair out, pull out the second to last pair, put those in. 2 weeks, tear. Throw those out, grab the last pair. And when I grab the last pair, I call them and say, hey, my year's supply has gone up in smoke in just the month of December. I'm out of all of them. Every single right contact had a tear in the damn thing. And I need something different. Or what are we going to do? I lost my job back in September, so I don't have insurance anymore. But, the lady on the phone said that, there should hopefully be something that could be done maybe like a warranty or something like that. I said, okay, well, we'll set an appointment. We'll put out a prescription, and we'll set an appointment for January. Like, okay, because at this point for later in January, because we're like in the first few days of January at this point. And I said, okay, that's fine. So it was like 3 weeks out. That I called them on a Thursday. By that next Sunday, the left one had a tear. And I called them on Monday and just be like, hey, now it's the first time I've had a tear in the left one. And when I tell you in these cage things, I was so dead set on making sure it went in perfect, because it kind of has like a bowl and you put the contact in, or it has an upside down bowl that you can put the contact on, and you just close the cage and submerge it. So it's just like, not really panic mode, but a lot of panic mode. And so I go in, it was 2 weeks ago. It'll be 3 weeks this Thursday. I go in, we do the appointment, and she says there's a micro tear near the first tear on this one. And that tear almost looked like a shark tooth. It kind of came down and then down again. And it didn't come down far enough to where it went through the middle. Like, it's, if you're talking, this is the contact, this part was affected. So the pupil still had straight vision to go through. But even today, 5 days later, I can still feel the bump where my eye had sort of grown around it or was suppressed or whatever. And they said that they didn't have my contacts that hadn't been in yet. They're specialty contacts, so they usually take a little bit longer. Like, all right, whatever. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. And they gave me a spare right one, and they said it's not your prescription, but if this one gets bad, you can swap it out. And they asked me if I ever used that one. I said I didn't, simply because it's a physical uncomfortableness, but still be able to have good to decent vision from time to time, or it's no physical uncomfortableness and be able to have vision that is just not ever going to be there. And I went, what's the lesser of two evils? Like, I would probably just pull that one out and just wear something over my face and just go by my left eye the entire time. I was like, no, that makes sense. So no contacts, but I still got to wait. So that'll be 3 Thursdays ago. From this Thursday, that was that was Valentine's Day. And then the following Friday, the contacts come in, and I get a call saying that they're in. Like, okay, I'm on my way to come pick them up. She goes, that's not how it's done here, unfortunately. The doctor has to release them. I said, I just want to remind you, I have technically 4 tears in my contacts right now. I need those in my face within the next hour, because I've been dealing with tears in my contacts for 2 months. And now you're telling me I gotta wait after you tell me that it's already there. Needless to say, I was upset. But apparently, for some people, I was not upset enough. I needed to demand. It's like, that's not how this works. This isn't like a restaurant or a retail place where you can just go in and go, let me speak to your manager. You will solve my gripes and woes right now. And I was swiftly told that, well, maybe they can replace your eyes, and my door was slammed. Like, I can't make them do it. It's not how it works. Does it suck? Yeah, it fucking sucks. But it's out of my control. I did my fight right then and there. There was nothing I could do. And so I said, okay, when's the earliest I can get them? They said Thursday at 3:45. Mind you, this is Friday morning the week before. So I got to wait 6 full days with torn contacts in my face. Otherwise, I'm just... And I don't know if you've ever had blurry ass vision, but walking around with blurry ass vision for longer than about half an hour, you start to get dizzy and a headache because your eyes are physically straining to try and focus in what they can't focus in. So I'm just like, all right, I'm being extra super careful. She had said there was a micro tear in the one that already had one, and then everything just kind of got worse. And so then Thursday comes around, and the guy that I had seen and the guy that was doing all of these throughout this whole process had kind of a fun time with him. If you ever been to the eye doctor, you got that little thing that they put your chin on, and they got that big ass light, and they kind of swivel it around, and they tell you to look at their ear and shit like that. Well, at one point he goes, check out my left ear. And if you know me, I'm a smart ass. You give me an opening, I'm going to take it. And I just went, not going to lie, it's pretty nice looking left ear. And it was just an utter awkward silence in the room. And I went, not to be awkward, but just to be funny. And he goes, oh, no, it was my fault. I said, check out my ear. And we got a whole big kick out of it, because with the silence, I'm going, man, did that joke really just bomb that hard? I thought it was funny as hell. And so, we had that little laugh, and doctor comes in, we have some more laughs, and I talk about all the crap that I had gone through and the things that I've had with my contacts as far as, working at UPS, and I had iron filling stuck to them, and every time I blinked, I'm getting scar tissue on the insides of my eyelids. Another time at UPS, I had a contact that I was rubbing, and I rubbed something and it tore. Well, I could feel it when I blinked that it would sometimes flip. And so I literally went and I took an X-Acto knife, cut it, went to the bathroom, washed my hands, washed my contact the best I could, put it back in my face, dealt with the irritation until I could get back home to get a new pair in. So I've had my fair share of like horror stories when it comes to my eyes, and especially contacts. So I'm sharing these stories and I'm laughing because what the hell else am I going to do? It's a fun story. I find it hilarious, especially watching other people just freak the fuck out about them, going, it's just part of my life, man. It's whatever. And so I go there to get these contacts, and he was starting to talk about payment. I'm going, fuck. I'm getting unemployment right now, but that's just really covering my bills, and that's it. It's barely covering any more than that. And doctor comes in, and she says that they have a program to where once a semester a student can sponsor a client to get them free eye care. And Alex had chose me, and I started feeling it just like right now. I'm starting to feel that creep up my throat and just get to the point where I'm like, and so I gave him a fist bump while she's still talking. And I told him, I said, I know that you guys go through rotations because you're the third one that I've seen, because it's here at a college or a university. And so I know you go on rotations. I said, how long before yours? He said, after next week. And I went, oh, shit. I go, well, how long is the rotations? He goes, 8 weeks. I'm like, all right, so you spend 2 months, and then you're like, and we're going to go plant you over here, and I guess just keep going. So I say this because even though everyone that I had talked to about my situation was saying that I should have been a belligerent asshole, that I should have demanded, that I should have, walked in there kicking and screaming. I said my piece. I said, that this is really not okay. And they're going, there's nothing we can really do. And a doctor's office is a completely different area than like a retail store where you buy an item and it's broken. And keeping my cool, not being belligerent, not being demanding, not being an asshole, not being the squeaky wheel that got the grease, got me my contacts for free. Getting a year's supply should be next week sometime, I think. I do have a spare pair just in case. But I think this is a good metaphor or analogy, if you will, for the world today. Push as far as you can. Let your discomfort in the certain situation be known, and then let the cards fall where they will. I didn't go in there expecting something like that because I didn't even know that was a thing. And there's so many things that I learned from this experience of going to the local university for it, that I've learned in 7 months, that I'm going, okay, didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know there was such thing as a contact specialist. Didn't know that you could go through the freaking university and they will get you contacts and shit. Didn't know that they could sponsor people, shit like that. But because everywhere I go, I try not to be one of those deliberately asshole-ish people. Like, if something's wrong, I'll be like, hey, it's wrong. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, you don't need to apologize that profusely. It's like, I understand, calling me sir. But we're all people here. I understand you call me sir because you don't know my name. And I get that part. But the other part is like, we're all people here. I'd be all right if you're like, sorry, dude. All good. And we move on. I don't like that bro has replaced dude, because I think bro is a little bit more personal and needs to be a little bit more for people that know you more intimately and more personally. And we need to bring back dude or dudette, because that's just a broad stroke. But you shouldn't take something as personal and intimate as brother and apply that to everybody. That's just me. But no, I was just going to go in and be like, hey, this is how it goes. This is what it is. And I'll figure it out as it goes. I'm not going in there with $2,000 in my pocket going, okay, this should cover it. But I've had contacts that have gone close to that. And I don't have any of them anymore. And there's a part of me that's going, I was told that it might not be worth it for me to do laser corrective surgery. I would still need to have reading glasses and shit. I'm going, all right, but if I can always see clearly and I don't have to worry about a contact getting online, why wouldn't that be something that I do? But obviously I don't have the money for it, and obviously I don't have insurance for it. But I think that's something that I'm going to try and lean towards, hopefully once I get those two issues solved. because I don't ever remember a time waking up and being able to look around and go, oh man, I'm still in bed and I haven't done a damn thing except pull the covers over my face and I can see the entire room clear as frickin' day. Um, I don't know what that's like. 'Cause I was really, really young whenever I needed contacts or glasses, corrective vision. Um, so I don't know what that's like. And I think that would be an incredible thing to be able to experience. Um, but as it stands right now, got to go with what you can afford, and I can't afford to zzz onto my eyeballs. Um, but the whole point of this was I didn't want to be a burden to the people who were helping me solve my problems. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video of, I want to say the customer's name was Sharon. Um, Sharon is I want to say she's probably about late 50s, early to mid 60s white lady that went into a beauty salon to get her hair done. And apparently, I want to say it was someone of Spanish descent. Because there was three women in the video. There was the one who was working Sharon's hair. It was Sharon, and then there was a girl sitting back in the corner. And the video is kind of grainy, and I most recently saw it on my phone, so I couldn't really go, what's going on? But the Sharon lady apparently made a whole big stink about someone who was not white doing her hair. And she didn't want someone who wasn't white doing her hair. The owner then, it was like, this is very unlike her. We've never had this issue, whatever the hell. And so the owner said, I'll do your hair. And then Sharon starts talking shit about the girl who was going to do her hair. And the owner's like, no, we're not having that. And at one point, Sharon rears back like she's going to hit the manager. She's like, fuck you, Karen. Get out. She's like, what? She's like, no. I was going to do you a favor and still do your hair today since you had an appointment and I wanted to keep your appointment. But you want to act like this, like that's your second strike, you're gone. And she's like, no, please, you have to do my hair. She goes, I don't have to do shit, but you have to get the fuck out of my shop. She's like, I'm sorry. She goes, it's too late for sorry. Get out. And she went from apologetic to screaming again. And at what point did we stop caring about the random people we run into? They don't have to be your best friends. I go through a drive-thru, which I haven't been in months, but I go through a drive-thru. Hi, welcome to whatever. What can I get for you? How are you doing today? No. I'm coming to you, so I want to know how you are doing. Because I don't want to cook for myself right now. I just want to grab something, take it back, nosh, and be done. So how are you doing? That's great to hear. I'm doing well too. Thank you for asking. What I would like is a number 4. Give that to me with a lemonade, please. Now, I shouldn't large size it, even though I do love French fries. But thank you. Then they give me my total. Thank you very much. I pull through. I've even said, thank you, I appreciate you. And she goes, I appreciate you more. Had an instance at the grocery store a couple weeks ago where an entire ordeal happened. because I said 2 words. It was right as the snow was starting to come down last week. And I go to the grocery store. I was like, I'm going to get some stuff. It's going to be packed. I just accepted it. I don't like it. So I like doing my grocery shopping at 2 o'clock in the morning. But those days are gone, so I can't. So I go and I'm wandering through the aisles. And I'm going, really want to get some more canned soup. I'm going to go that way. And the soup wasn't on sale anymore. I was like, damn it. Well, I'm not paying that much for the soup. So, fuck it, I moved on. And I'm cursing myself that I didn't buy more whenever it was on sale. So, as I start to move along, this guy's coming up to me. I can smell him. He already smells like a gross ashtray. You know the type. And all I said was, excuse me, as I'm going past him. Because my thought process is, if you're going by someone in the aisle, and let's say they're over here on the right side, and they're looking to the left side, if you cross their vision while they are visually shopping, you should excuse yourself. Because they've already done you a favor and moved over to the side, so it does make for easier passing. But in that, you need to actually acknowledge that they have given you that. You don't say thank you. That's just pretentious. But you can say excuse me as you go through their field of vision. Because I have had times before where I started to go there and someone went to go reach over to the other aisle and grab their item. And like, oh shit. And I pull up and I wait. And like, I'm sorry. It's like, no. I got in your space because that is their space. So all I said to this gentleman was, excuse me, as I try to go around him. He goes, man, this cold weather really starts messing with my arthritis. Especially then it starts to get cold. You know, I'm going to have to, stay in here and warm up a little bit and let my joints go. I said, well, you're going to be here for a while. I said, because that is the line for the self-checkout. I had never seen the self-checkout go beyond the little walled off area, but it was 5 carts deep beyond that, to the point where it got farther down the aisles to where nothing from the self-checkout was visible. I'm going, oh shit. And you look down the other end and the line went into the pharmacy. Man, there's like 15 to 20 people on either end. He was like, yeah, that'll give me plenty of time to warm up, though. So I go down the aisle and turn and come up, and this dude goes down the other way and comes down that same aisle. And he does what most normal people would do when they're a little bit old, like, oh, fancy running into you here. And I laugh because it is funny. And then I go up that aisle and then come back down. And he comes around. And again, I went, if we keep running into, or this happens again, I'm gonna high five you. And right after that, there was a moment where there was a black woman standing there. And I said, excuse me, as I went past her. She goes, no, it's my fault. And she already had a smile on her face as I was approaching her to go past her in that aisle. And it kind of hit me. I'm going, was she paying attention to our interaction? And it was just a nice, wholesome, fun, innocent type interaction that she's now, I don't want to say touched by it because that also sounds pretentious, but she absorbed it to where she was like, there's still things that are nice in the world. And that was sort of the smile that I got. And I equally smiled back, and I moved on. And I skipped a couple aisles. and I started going to see if these one pizzas I really enjoy were on sale. Because last time I got them and tried them, they were $5 a piece, and they shot back up to $9, and I went, nope, not doing it. Sure as shit, I start coming out of frozen pizza aisle, and who comes around that corner with his hand in the air? Smah! High five the shit out of him. Made my day. And I know it made a good portion, at least, of his. Because the first time that I met him, he was talking about how his joints were hurting and everything was just kind of shitty. And for him to come around that corner with his hand in the air, seeing me, why don't we do that for people more often? I had 3 interactions with that guy before the high five. None of them were, get the fuck out of my way. None of them were, God, you stink. It was a human being. At what point did we lose sight of us just being human beings? You have no idea what the person next to you is going through. You have no idea what the person you're passing by is going through. And for you to go barreling through life, just not even acknowledging anybody nearby, I don't understand how you can have a fulfilled existence. Now, I didn't beg anybody. I didn't plead anybody. I didn't, ask for forgiveness or anything. It was just a simple excuse me. It's just polite and manners. Where the fuck have those gone? And I've seen people that just sit there, just barrel through the grocery store, and they'll just zoom right by you, even though you're sitting there trying to find something in the spice aisle that you swear was there once, and now for whatever reason you can't see it. And they'll just right past you. Yeah, in some regards, they're in their own head and they're focusing on something. Sure. But when it happens 99% of the time, we're a little too concerned of self and not concerned of a bigger picture. And I don't know. It just really kind of makes me sad that we don't really care about one another enough to just be kind.